Hello everyone and welcome back to the Brightworks and another match of Beyond All Reason where we're celebrating the holiday spirit with some good old-fashioned antlers and red-nosed commanders. Gonna be dropping into a beautiful little match, candy canes galore as well, here on Canis River. Today we're gonna be having a look at a 4 versus 4 that was sent on over and featured a couple of high-level players, and I was definitely excited to get back into the swing of casting by having a look at this match. So, we'll go ahead and meet our teams here, spawning as the red team leader, and looking quite beautiful in those earmuffs, those adorable antler earmuffs with the little ears and the antlers and the red nose, and also a medal. I'm not sure exactly what medal this is for. Usually you get the medals from winning tournaments here. It's going to be a random variable. Joined here by Bart Jones, Judge Power, and Mr. MC. Or Mr. McMaster, however you want to say it. Mr. MC here, spawning to the left, and then the orange and yellow commanders to the right, respectively. Spawning on the northern side here. Oh, we have some holiday music going on, too. Wonderful. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. Beyond a reason, getting into the spirit here. Joysko, our blue team leader here, spawning on the northern side of the blue team, and going to be carrying a sack full of presents. Those are actually weapons. There's like bombs and stuff inside of all those. I'm pretty sure, at the very least, plasma cannons and whatnot, ready to drop them at the doorstep, chimneys, or otherwise receiving receptacle of the red team. To the right here of the blue commander, we have the green commander, Kyle. Purple spawning just to the right of them at, what is this, 23 open skill, our purple commander, Panzer. And up on the high ground, our cyan commander, Kurt Kavase. Kavesi? Kavesi. Why does that sounds like Star Trek? I feel like that's a Star Trek reference. I'm not entirely sure though. Somebody can definitely point out if I'm right about that being a Star Trek thing. Somebody let me know what that's a reference to. The name Kavesi maybe? It sounds so familiar. Already ticks across the map right here, countered by the rascals produced right here by the red commander. Random variable shooing away those pesky ticks, trying to keep them out of the stockings of the red team. Meanwhile, a whole bunch move in on the right-hand side. These are rascals sent over by the purple commander, and they will be able to catch one of the cons. Oh, we're not going to finish it? Oh, no. Oh, it's a close call. 7%, 2%, one more shot. Oh, he manages to get it just by the skin on that rascal's laser. Barely manages to take down the very last 7% on that constructor. Fantastic stuff. Okay. With the constructor down, that does make this a little bit more awkward for Bart Jones. Yeah, sends out the next constructor immediately. Weird here because cleaning up all this is going to be a little weird because we have to eat all the metal up, obviously, which we could do with the commander or the con. Both are pretty slow. And then we have to build all the mexes, and then we have to come back and grab this geothermal. All that takes time. All that is going to be pretty difficult here for the yellow commander to manage while being constantly harassed here by these rascals. Nice play from the blue commander, from the purple commander on the blue team here. Couple of blitzes sneaking by over here. They are shut down quite nicely. Okay. D-Gun might have just barely clipped the backside of that green blitz there and took it down. But at the end of the day, both blitzes are rejected. The red team, despite a more defensive posture in the early game, has managed to keep themselves, well, fairly well defended. Finally, we do see a little bit of aggression headed across here. One Resbot was targeted. Not killed, though, importantly. Oh, nicely done. Exploiter actually set up over here. Expensive to go for one of these exploiters, especially on a map like this where the metal income is pretty low per player. Especially on a 4v4 here. That's a nice snipe, though. Okay. The hero rascal, the one that managed to make it through the line of defense, will actually manage to kill at least one mex, if not another one. Yeah, those ticks are trying to clean this up. We're going to go for it. Mex is targeted. Gotta be so careful, though. Yep, Centurion waddles out of the lab and will be able to blast it apart. The ticks we're chasing not shortly behind there, or very shortly behind there. Things are looking quite good. That's a wonderful little run by over here. A couple of incisors have been put together, as well as a handful of grunts are now pushing forward on the yellow side of the map. Still, though, defensive forces for Bart Jones are in position, and it looks like we will just barely have enough to clean all this up just before the reinforcements do retreat back and arrive. Another purple tank making its way across right here, though, so we need to get these incisors back into position. They've been left behind the base, and they need to be moving forward already. Purple incisor moving out, but everything's basically being killed over here anyways. A lot of the tanks, the rascals, of course, and it looks like that other con that did go out was also sniped as well here. I'm sure it's one of these debris fields. Either way, it does just mean that Bart Jones is going to be a little slower on the expansion. That gives Court the advantage here, meaning we can move down very easily to this low ground. But that commander is standing idle. Ugh. I'd like to see that comp moving out. I mean, at this point, we have so many forces retaliating here. If we go for Resbots, picking up all those incisors could be a huge play. One Rascal and 2 incisor make it through here from Panzer. Double constructor caught right here, though. If we could take both these constructors, that's a huge hit. They've already done good work building these exploiters, the armed metal extractors, and then kind of shutting down this midsection. But both those cons do fall, and suddenly this area is open back up again. Whoa, killer D-gun right there. I was looking at the minimap, but a killer D-gun right there from Court Kavesi completely shuts down the entire push. All of a sudden, literally nothing left, as jingle bells are left all over the battlefield, as well as a handful of corpses here that were left over. Can we get a res? Ooh, could we resurrect these cons? That would be way better. We're gonna reclaim them. Yikes. A little res on those would be appreciable, but not the end of the world here, of course. Mr. MC fending for their life here. We do have double resbot. Actually, it's one resbot, a con, and the commander, all trying to repair back together some of these Centurion that are brawling on the front line. One of the superpowers of the Centurion is that it's extremely repairable. They basically have a relatively low build cost and then a relatively high health pool. There's a couple of units that are very similar like that. But for Centurions, it basically means that if you micro them properly, they can be very difficult to take down with just a little bit of build power behind them. Yeah, we're trying to save this one. And I think we will. You can see how quickly their health climbs. Eventually, it is blasted down here by the combined fire of the aggravators and the thugs and all the rest of this firing away. Resbots also trying to do their best to patch together this commander. Those Centurions went down, but they were effectively here to buy time for the rocket bots to arrive. Now Mr. MC is in a little bit of trouble. Those rocket bots start to shell away, and of course the Resbots can always be used to resurrect the Centurions, get them back up on their feet, and start lasering down the blue commander. Meanwhile, the push on the right-hand side is looking spectacular. Court moving in to position here. Do we have the energy for a D-gun? Not really. And the commander cloak takes a lot of energy, 1,000 energy a step. The rocket bot's putting on a bunch of pressure over on this side. Yeah, look at that. Resbot's picking up those Centurion. Can we micro those back? Love to see those just microed back really quickly here. Beamer turrets being set up on the high ground here too. That's really, really interesting. So the beamer turrets do technically outrange the, well, everything here. Rocket bots included. And we're trying to go for this like mass thug push. We don't have the resbots for it though. Mr. MC has definitely hit that mass where suddenly you can sort of take a break from producing the thugs. Go for 5 resbots. If you get those 5 resbots out, it means that every thug you produce from here on out can effectively last forever. With proper management, proper repair, as long as you keep those resbots alive, of course, as well. Love the resurrected Centurions here, though. Ah, that's fantastic. With a little bit of fire micro. I was going to say friendly fire. You don't want friendly fire, but with fire selection micro, target firing micro. I'm a little bit rusty on the casting. I take a little bit of a break, and all of a sudden I'm rusty. Sheesh. Professional commentator 1v1, or 101. Don't even know my numbers. With target firing, you're able to blast down units really quickly with the Centurion. That's the only point I was trying to make there. The Centurion, because their laser beams will virtually always connect as long as they have a little bit of vision. They can find some serious value in just target firing down enemies, especially with, you know, a flanking bonus and whatnot as well. Looks like the push was majorly stopped over here on the right-hand side. We do have a couple of Incisor and Pounder in Syrian, combining unit names now. What would be, here's the question of the day, what would be the 2 most OP units to combine? If you could have, like, you know, combination style, I'm trying to think of a game with prominent combinations like that. Pokemon? Does Pokemon have that? Not really. Pokemon is the one that my mind goes to, but I don't think that's right. Anyways, what would be the 2 most OP units to combine with each other? Like a Razorback that fires Rocketeer missiles? A Pounder tank that fires Fat Boy shots? There's a lot of really interesting combinations I can think of. Blitz is trying to sneak through. Pawns that shoot sharpshooter projectiles. Bart Jones being pushed back. A little bit of a 2v1 over here. The yellow commander forced to retreat under the pressure of both these commanders. Orange Commander has gone for a little bit of pork over here instead of continuing to push. We are going to back up these missile trucks firing over the wall right here and providing a bunch of vision for the Agitator to fire away. This is a huge investment made on the front line. It does kind of mean, though, that the Purple and Cyan Commander were allowed to rebuild their forces and now put on a ton of extra pressure on the southern side. Goes to show you just how much one of these Agitators can shift the battle, and not always in your advantage when you build one of them. Panzer is reading this 100% correctly. Recognize that there was an Agitator here. Realize that there wasn't really any need to sit here and fight it. Instead, could just take that 1,000 metal that's now off the field effectively and put it down here. Use that metal to push back the Yellow Commander, and it's worked spectacularly. All of a sudden, Cyan has reclaimed a huge portion of the land over here, is getting some fantastic reclaim with the Resbot, and the backline can go all the way up to T2. Indeed, we have the T2 lab up and running at this point. We do have some blue forces breaching the line right here of Mr. MC. We have a couple of light mines being set up as well. A nice little line of light mines. White Christmas light mines. That's the... Getting my sayings. I was trying to think of Christmas sayings to say during this cast beforehand. I realized that'd be a little overbearing. I'll save you this time. You may not be so fortunate next time, though. Thugs pushing forward here. Those beamer turrets are great. Oh, man, look at those beamer turrets work. Fighting underneath the beamer turrets is just so oppressive. We've also moved the lab forward, which is a little bit interesting. We've actually found the backline. Okay. LLT comes up right here. Ooh, E-Converter pops and it takes down the con. How cheeky is that? Can we get a little reclaim? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just eat up the rascal. There's no need to try and fight this. Oh, that's a killer run right here, though. Random variable shifted gears. Instead of sending forces up to this left-hand side, has pushed right through the middle of the map, and suddenly a Kyle, who now has 10%, is that 10%? 10% HP, is losing it all on the front line here. Beamer turret stands no chance. In fact, no static defenses stand a chance here against the power of the vehicles. They can outrange all of them with their Shell Shocker / Wolverine fire. Oh, Commander goes down in the middle of the entire pink army. Okay, well, that's a GG situation right here for Joysko on this northern side. All of a sudden, literally everything goes down in a single explosion. We are spamming our hearts out to try and get as many thugs as possible out onto the field once more. But as long as all this metal is reclaimed, and I mean, we could even go for T2 off of all this. That's 3,000 metal worth of reclaim. Oh, okay, yeah, the landmines. Luckily here, the landmines are kind of chain reacting, so they're taking out a bunch of these units all at once. But that's a huge amount of reclaim. I mean, that is easily T2 reclaim. You know what's quite nice, though? Random variable has effectively killed the energy production of the Blue Commander. Nice Deegan right there does take down the run-by forces here, so a Kyle's main base does stay alive a little bit longer. Aggravators and the missile trucks moving in. I like the blitzes. I think that's the appropriate response here. Red Commander blasting all this away. I would love to see a capture command. No reason to waste all that. May as well capture some of it. It's getting really, really awkward. Blue Commander managing to use that lever that he's pried open on this northern side to run by a whole bunch of forces into the red base. You take my base out, I'll take your base out. It's an eye for an eye of destruction, and both of these commanders are at each other's throats here. Yeah, those pawns are ravaging the energy production. All of a sudden, I mean, it means the D-guns are going to run out. As that battery is depleted, and as the energy production falls further and further here. Can we get the lab? Oh, 5% HP. The lab barely stands. I would have liked to see it focused down. It would have been really, really nice. Twin Guard coming up right here for the Pink Commander, by the way, trying to just build as much stuff to stall this out as long as possible. Yeah, Red Commander's push is largely destroyed here by the lack of energy. Suddenly this commander can't D-gun anymore. We are forced to cloak it. No, we're not going to cloak. Guess not. Threatening like there is energy for a D-gun, but there really isn't. The first T2 unit rolling out on the southern side here. We do have the... Oh! Is that my... That was my Steam notification. I sincerely apologize to all of you who paused the video immediately and checked your Steam. Whoops. Rocketeers continuing to push forward. I can't believe we didn't go for T2 here. I'm so greedy I would have gone for T2. That's the difference between the top tier players, the pro level players, and the decent players. I would have been greedy. I would have gone for T2 almost immediately. I think I probably would have died because of the counterattack. So many grunts moving in here on the southern side. Sheldon are ravaging from across the river here, though. That's really, really dangerous. I wouldn't even mind seeing a couple of ducks, like 2 or 3 ducks to cross the river and just take out these mexes that exist along the coastal side. That could have a huge effect. We're just setting up mass LLT to absorb as much fire as possible. Resbots give their life to just give that Centurion a little bit more, well, life. Will it work? I'm not entirely sure. Blue team needs to rebuild that backhand side. If we can reclaim all this metal, if we can get control of even half of this metal right here, I think the blue commander has a shot. We need a little bit more energy production right now, though. No, it's not really the energy, actually. It really is just the metal. Red commander did go down, by the way, of course, was pinned between all these units and did eventually fall. It looks like the Grunt army has also been shut down. Those pounders, quite particularly perfect for shutting all that down. So the blue side is actually defended. Now with the Sheldon moving in here, none of the static defenses even matter anymore either. Oh, bearing down on all sides. The only angle that does look to be appreciating here for the red team is the southern side, where we do have the Tsar firing away and chipping down a whole bunch of those units. AGO started up here almost immediately. We get the advanced mexes up to quadruple that metal income. And then, of course, we're going to go for that AGO. This will effectively fund the energy needs of the entire team. If we get this up and running, it will be a huge, huge help to the energy income. One Tsar has been spared over here on this side as well, but those Sheldon are now encroaching on the base. Judge Power, the commander itself, actually in a little bit of trouble. Yep. Nicely done. The humblest of units, the mighty Rascal, has managed to sneak underfoot here of these Sheldon. Pounder tanks have been sent to encourage those Rascals off of the Sheldon here, though, so they will be quite nice for cleaning all that up. And again, Judge Power falls under fire here from the Sheldon. Do we have a radar bot? We do have a radar bot. Okay, so these have perfect vision out at range. They can fire away fully effectively. The Blitz is now just sprinting in. The blue commander, oh, moves in for the D-gun. Oh, he doesn't get it. The Tsar manages to save itself in one final blast with a little bit of target firing. The blue commander does go down. And all of a sudden, this area looks a little bit sketchy. Yeah, the build power is kind of all that's left, and it's nice because it can repair these turrets, so that's something. But, oh, I mean, that's a lot of metal that's suddenly been handed over here. Blitz is sneaking past to kill the mexes, and the wind turbines in the back is really, really nice, though. That Sheldon ball has gone away. Oh, they were caught right here by a Tsar come out by the yellow commander. Okay, not bad. Judge Power did escape their wrath. That's a little unfortunate here. For the blue team, anyways. That was second to last commander. Riot tanks encroaching on the base here. I mean, not ideal for killing these static defenses, but not bad either. They're tanky enough for it. Oh, Judge Power in trouble. Boom goes the orange commander in the main base. Oh, no. Well, there goes the entire main base right there of the orange commander, the red commander, and the only one really left standing here is pink. I mean, yellow has a substantial force here as well, scaling the build power, so this is definitely going to come into play very shortly. For a time being, though, I guess yellow's been producing most of the T2 forces here. Pink has kind of saved themselves with T2. WTF. But all that force bared down on the blue commander and killing it on this side, it does change things a lot. Kyle, one of 3 commanders remaining, is going to go for a killer move here. Bart Jones is trying desperately to... Really trying desperately to push this aggression on this side. Those Sheldon are kind of perfect for dealing with this, though. As long as they keep backing up. Oh, we're not kiting. Uh-oh. Okay, well, I may have spoken too early. If the Sheldon kite backwards, and as long as they have enough space to do so, they will bring down the Tsar. Nice little run by over here as the medium tanks slip by. A large volume of medium tanks can be one of the most difficult things to defend against. You can see the Tiger tanks really struggling here, because despite Tigers having immense bulk, they have a lot of HP, they don't really do a ton of damage. So in much the same way that it's very difficult to stop medium tanks for effectively the same reason, Tiger tanks also don't counter medium tanks very well. The AGO is spotted here, and that's a glowing beacon. Yep, a Kyle sneaks in and manages to D-gun down the T2 laboratory. Here it is with the play of the game. Also spies the AGO, and boom goes the base in yellow as well. The red team, forced via unsurreptitious D-gunnery, as well as beautiful run-bys, nice little leveraging of strategic angles, and overall spectacular play, forced to resign. GG is called despite a hard-fought game back and forth right here, but the blue team eventually managed to take it. Thanks a ton for watching, folks. I sure hope you enjoyed. I'm very excited to be back, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And I hope to see you again in the very next match of Beyond All Reason. Peace out and take it very, very easy, Commanders.